We're looking at the secret of church growth. 1 Corinthians chapter 3 and verse 7. The secret of church growth. So then, it's neither he that planted anything, neither he that watered it, but God that giveth the increase. The secret behind church growth is that it is God that gives the increase. But I want to say at this point that it is God that gives the increase does not nullify the part that man needs to play. The part man needs to play exceeds the authority God has to bring the increase you are looking for. That part man needs to play. It exceeds the authority that man has. That means that God has to bring the increase. It is our part to plant. It is our part to water. But it is God's own part to give the increase. Many churches are dysfunctional because they have not set themselves up to experience growth. Many churches are dysfunctional because they are not positioned to experience growth. The world needs to be reached. The world needs to be evangelized. And one man cannot do it all. Nobody can reach the world alone. Hear this, sir. Another man's success should not be the reason why your church is going down. If you have that mentality, you have set yourself to be a dwarf in ministry. Another man's success should not be the reason why your church is going down in a city. Hear this, sir. The reason why you are not growing is because you have designed your church in a way that should not grow. There is a way you have designed your life and church. It will be practically impossible for your church to grow. So hear this. Your strongest and fastest route to grow in a church is to secure the participation of your members. The strongest and fastest route to grow your church is to secure the participation of the members of the church. Your ability to get members into workforce is one of your pathway to growing that church. If all members end up becoming in your church is miracle seekers, they end up become prayer seekers, and you have not taught to a point where you convert them from miracle seekers, prayer seekers to church workforce, you have set yourself for decline. You have set yourself for decrease. You have set yourself for average existence. Sir, you must empower members to serve in a capacity that will facilitate the growth of the church. Empower them with the necessary apparatus and knowledge to enhance the growth of the church. Another thing you must understand is, if you have not trained your church worker to retain at least 10% of the people that come to your church, you have set yourself for decrease. If you have not trained your church workers to retain at least 10% of the people that visit your church every service, every Sunday, you have set that church for decrease. If you train your members to retain 50 to 60% of the people that come to your church will grow. Church growth is not magic. It's intentional. It is deliberate. Proverbs 14 and verse 4. if you do not galvanize them, your church workforce, to retain people, sir, you have stagnated your potential. Bible says, where no oxen are, the creep is clean. But much increase is by the strength of the oxen. Increase in any organization, increase numerically, increase in any system, in any business, is a function of input of the oxen. The labor, the workforce of the church is very vital. Sit down and train the workforce. Sit down and raise men from being members to becoming a workforce in God's kingdom. If not, sir, 5-10 years after, you will go nowhere. Sir, your church will grow by the ratio of church workforce involvement. Your church will grow by the ratio of church force to a church workforce involvement. You must have a heavy pool of church volunteers. Heavy pool of church volunteers that must make input without being paid financially. They are volunteers. You must have a huge pool of them to command church growth. There's a law called the law of laity. Some say laity. That is the involvement of workforce that are voluntary. Sir, if you have 1,000 workforce and you have trained them efficiently, in 1 year you should have 4,000 workforce. You should have 4,000 members. The reason is because every average human being knows at least 8 to 10 persons. Every average human being. No matter how what do they call it? Internal, what do they call it? That's the name they call. Introverted you are. You still know 8 to 10 people. If you do not train them with evangelism consciousness, you will never multiply that church. Church growth is not another people's member leaving to your church. That is a useless growth. That is a cancerous growth. And we have them in Abuja. At one time I had them. At one time you will see 5,000 people at a city. When another man of God comes to city, they will move. Another man of God comes to city, they will move. They are weathered. That if you are going to use such people to grow church, you will have high blood pressure. You don't grow church with such people. After some time, you have to tell yourself the truth. Let the crowd go. Get structure and get system working. If you must have an enduring work, stop deceiving yourself. Tell yourself the truth. This work I'm doing, can it outlast me? Can it outlive me? It's very important. Every potent, vibrant, happy church worker will mobilize 4 of his size. Every vibrant, happy church worker will mobilize 4 of his size. What makes them vibrant is the kind of food you are giving them. That is why you come to this kind of training, so that you can affect their taste. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying here? God will give you growth when you know your part. When you know the part, you need to pray. So number 1 point I have successfully made in this direction is that you have a part to play as much as it is God that gives increase. Somebody shout, I hear. Number 2, if you want to enjoy church growth, open your hand. Open your hand and allow others to do it. Not only those that God has called. Open your hand and allow others to do it. Ephesians chapter 4 verse 11 to 13. Your work is not to do the work. Your work is to equip them to do the work. He gave some apostles, some prophets, some evangelists, some pastors, some teachers. Take next verse. For the perfecting, that word perfecting means for the maturation of the saints. For the work of the ministry. The work of the ministry is the work given to the saints. Not the work of the ministry given to the fivefold ministry. You are to train every member that comes to your church for the work of the ministry and for the edifying of the body. So their life should give to edify the body. The strong one should encourage the younger one. Yes, am I talking to somebody here? Yes, you must kill malice and sin of the spirit. Yes, not a well-dressed person. Because you are not well-dressed, the member is not comfortable with a well-dressed person. Do you know that there are some ladies in your church that are not comfortable with beautiful ladies? They are not comfortable with well-dressed ladies. They are not comfortable with well-blessed ladies. You just see all kinds of demonic animosity. Such people don't exist for the edifying of the church. You must train them to be comfortable with all kinds of people. In a sea, there are different fishes. Tilapia, shark, snakefish, catfish. Why must everybody be tilapia in your church? Why must everybody dress the same? So, many of you feel the anointing is all you need. Anointing is not enough to harness growth. You must be given to training. Train people. Train people. Create channel for other people to be used by God under your nose. Create it. Yongicho grew his church to 1 million members. But he grew it with 980 pastors. That 1 million member that he had were pastor. He had associate pastor of 980 pastors who are working tirelessly. Then they have cell leaders. Any day is having a cell conference, they fill a stadium. Four ways a church is structured for numerical growth. Write it down. Under allowing others to do it, not only you. 4 ways a church is structured for growth. 3 of them are very wrong. Only 1 is right. Number 1, a staff-run church. A situation where the staffs does everything in church. Because staffs are the yes, sir. They will never bring opinions that will move the church. If all you want to be hearing is yes, sir, and nobody challenge certain of your revelations, your insight, your opinion over certain things, you won't go far. A situation where only the staff go for visitation. Only the staff are calling people to come into church. The other members are sleeping in their houses. You will never grow well. And hear me, sir. If you structure your church that way, only staffs call members to church and follow up people, sir, you have set your church not to grow. I'm not saying staff should not call, but it must not be only staffs that are doing that work. There must be what I call huge volumes of volunteers. Number 2, the desperate volunteer method. A desperate volunteer model. It's a model where something is there to be done and you say, let me put it this way so that we don't get it wrong. Is a desperate volunteer model is that model that you only choose people when there is a desperate need for that hour, emergency, you don't foresee. For example, they say there are no children teaching in the children department. You stand up, go and teach the children. They are not prepared for it. They are not trained for it. If you don't change them within 1 month, they will be so frustrated. And if they text you or tell you they can't handle it and you still insist, you are already sending them out of the church. Never run desperate volunteer model. Consciously bring people, train them. When people are trained and informed, sir, they will be prepared for it. Don't just say, I saw you playing guitar the other day. I handle the guitar. No. Don't be picking people from the altar just like that. Anybody you pick must be people you will settle down to train them. There's another model called chaos model. It's chaos model of church growth. It's a combination of staffs and desperate volunteers. This one is a very serious one. You only respond to situations when it is chaotic. You do not have foresight as a pastor to predict that this thing will, by tomorrow, will be like this. What will be the solution? So every pastor must have a foresight of what he wants his ministry to look like. For example, we are going to finish this building, and I saw that ground alone will seat 3,000 people. The top will seat 2,000 people. And if we compress it, it can seat 7,000. I'm already preparing myself how to get 7,000 people in this building. I've already foreseen it. And I've commenced a training of 48 people. And those 48 people, I divide them into 12 groups. And each of them are to produce 12 within 6 months. And I am teaching them for 6 months on the stretch how to cut down my travelings in the month of May, to kickstart it and find a level playing ground before I can start any traveling. When I train those 6 people for 6 months, by the end of 6 months, they are giving me their 12. And their 12 times 48, how many people is that? Calculate. 500 and something. I will take that their 500 and something and train them for another 6 months. They are to give me their 12. How many is that? 500 plus times 12. 6,912 is what I want to achieve in 1 year. I will handle that 6,912 next year. Next year, by July, I will start training that set to the end of next year. What do we get from there? 6,000 times 12. That means there must be 4 to 5 branches already. So the first set of people will be pastors. So you must foresee. And I can bet you about 25 of them have already caught the vision. They have already written. They are already written how their 12 is going to come about. Some have already had their 12 waiting. They are already written. And I'm not going to send anybody. I manufacture the materials myself. Because it is what you teach that God confirms. What you don't teach, God can't confirm it in the life of the people. Hear me. When you teach healing, the people will walk in health. When you teach prosperity, the people will be monificated. When you teach breakthrough, the people will break through. If you teach holiness, they'll be holy and without shishi in their pocket. So it depends on what you want. The number 4 out the ways people structure their church, church is being structured, is the team approach. Not to give people department, but to to spell out the functionality of their operations and their department. You can't just carry people and put them in follow-up. They are following nothing. No supervision, no follow-up, no feedbacks. Can't carry people and put in data, only be painting face and doing mascara. Layer 1, layer 2, layer 15. It cannot be acceptable. So, hear me, sir. Don't create department for department's sake. Create department for functionality. And ensure that those departments are functioning. That is what makes, the Bible say, every system fitly fixed, coming together, will become a massive house. Watch me in 1 year time and see what will happen. You will come here, you will ask, where are the crowd coming from? I know Miss Crowd. I have had them for years in Abuja. For 7 years. I got angry. I said, I don't want. Miss Useless Crowd. And that is what some pastors are celebrating, and I pity them. Because I have passed that level. Stay. That's not what I am looking for. If you are not ready to sit and hear me teach, I can't pastor you. If you are not ready to sit and hear me train you, you will not be submissive to my ministry. I will block your number. You are not fit to come near me. If all you fit is to be bringing down your useless Joseph Dream kind of envelope, that lean cow envelope, one useless sanctimonious holiness without appropriate submission. Without absolute submission, it means you have set yourself to fail. Why should I join force with you? I should leave you to go ahead and fail. Teamwork, team approach. That is the approach where you help everybody in your department to find their gift. Please help them by teaching them their giftings comes out. So it enables them to find out their gifts, where they'll be more suitable for the service. It is like putting round peg in a round hole. Then you see that work blossoming. You see that work prospering. You see that work going forth. Haven't given you that first structure. You must understand that teamwork is very important. The next thing you need to grow your church, you must understand that letter called responsibility. Responsibility in church growth is the mystery behind closing the back door. Some of you have structured your system that before you give some people responsibilities, after 5 years, they have left. We are in a digital age where people are in a hurry. Create a system that people can go so fast through certain trainings, and within the shortest time, you put responsibility in their hands. Especially people who leave other ministry to join your ministry. Don't keep them too long. Create a system for quick refresher, training, rigorous training, and quickly let them assume responsibility. Because the earlier you get them hooked up to responsibility, the earlier you get them in the house to begin to function. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying here? You must find the area of their giftings, otherwise, sir, they'll become counterproductive. So find their areas of giftings and then channel it towards the growth of the church and teach them the necessary basis that is required for them to go, because some of them are already trained from where they come from. All you need is alignment. Align them properly. You must find areas of their gifting and assist them to move. Responsibility should be your key word. When somebody says, I joined your church, pastor, I came from somewhere. Now create a system that they can be trained immediately and saddled with responsibility. Okay. The next thing you must understand for church growth, apart from responsibility, is relational. You must understand the power of relationship. The power of relationship. Because when you don't have good way of relating, you can never grow a church. Blind eyes can open in your church without good relationship capacity and skills. The church will still not grow. You talk to people anyhow. No. Anybody you must scold, you must have trained them. I can scold him. But there are people I can't scold because I have not trained them. Me has not entered them. So it is easy for them to be discouraged. Sir, people with good relationship skill can grow a church more than those who are anointed. And if you are anointed and you have good relationship skill, you will go very far. Many of you, the way you inculcate people into the church system is too slow because you are not good at relationships. Your process of absorbing people, your relationship with people is too slow. Before you make up your mind for them, they have already gone. And today, I want you to appreciate the fact that we are living in a highly competing day where churches are everywhere and doing the same thing you are doing. There's nothing special about you. If it is the word, your neighbor is dissecting the word. If it is prophecy, your next neighbor is prophesying. If it is deliverance, your next neighbor is doing proper deliverance. What is it that you are giving them that they can't get somewhere else? But what separates you is your relationship and your anointing combined. You make success out of it. Somebody is not hearing what I'm saying. Behave like Jesus. He cast out 7,000 demons from a man called the madman of Gadara. The next thing I saw was that Jesus sent him for evangelism. He went to Decapolis. He went to what? Decapolis. And preached. The Bible said the whole city responded to Jesus. But the madman of Gadara, through his testimony, the whole city came to Jesus through that man. Let's be very careful. As much as we are training people, train them and let your training be fast, speedy, and sharp. Come with systems. Always check your first timers. Whatever datas, and see what they are doing, and ensure that sometimes you call randomly to find out if the people you have showed that responsibility are doing it. We can retain 80% of the people we'll invite to church if we have this strategy in place. Be very relational in your dealing. Look at one man testimony subdue an entire city when Jesus cast out 7 devils out of him. Sir, the people that God brings to us are the people that we bring others. That driver you undermine has an uncle, has a brother, has an auntie that can change the face of your ministry. Treat everybody to respect. Be very relational. When I say relational, be very courteous, be very respectful. Treat human beings with regard. Stop insulting them anyhow. So, the next thing you need to do is that you must be evangelism conscious. Any church that is not evangelism crazy will never grow. Any church that is not evangelism crazy, that church is not serious with God. Evangelism is the priority of God. If you want to see growth, move people, go out and move people into your church. And every service, create excuses for your members to bring people to church. Create excuses. Create something in the service that will make members to bring people to church. Be very conscious. Every handbill must be geared towards evangelism, not jamborees. Not for them come and dance and be uselessly dancing. That is the reason you organize the concert. The concert must be evangelism in mind. The birthday celebration must be evangelism in mind. Create an excuse that will make people, your members, to be bringing people. Sir, the best people that can evangelize are the members of the church. Because if you do all your evangelism on the street alone, very soon you will have useless members. You just meet anybody on the street, you invite him. He has not eaten for 14 days. Very soon, all your offerings will be swallowed up. No one project. No capital. Do you know why some states are not progressing in Nigeria? Because their subvention is not used for capital project. It's used for what? Recurrent expenditures. So if you are a pastor, all your resources is for what? Recurrent. Then you will never do capital projects that will grow the church. Because members want to see changes as they come to church every time. Why do you think Bishop, 7 services, Raja Oba, moved to Canaan land, 50,000. He has moved again to talk about 100,000. What do you think that man is doing? Sir, people follow leaders who are given to changes. Never be static in church. Every day you are preaching, don't remove the Asian landmark. With your Mongo Park suit, you need prayers. You need to understand certain things. Please stop going to the street. Is very important. Man of God, I was giving rice every service last year. The whole place is packed, but it was a useless crowd. My wife told me, the way you are going, you will lose quality people in this church. You see one woman will come out in front of the church and just do like this. She's downloading urine. All kind of untamed people. Very useless smelling kind of crowd. And you will see they were harassing members. They will follow you to the car, 15 of them begging you. I said to myself, Talena, what is wrong? See, if you want to know all the techniques to grow church, just ask me. I will give you the safest means. The modus operandi. I have tried everything. Now I have settled down to tell myself the truth. Quality beget quality. If my members are qualitative, work on them. They will bring their kind. Then I asked one of them, what is your plan for your church? He said, we went to a village called Gishiri. I said, what did you say? I said, as you are bringing that soul, you will be the pastor of Gishiri members. They should not come here. We will send you there to be their members. Bishop Edepo was first of all strong. Then he entered villages. The Akwa Ibom alone, last year, they opened 249 churches. Only in Akwa Ibom. In 1 year, they have visited 80 nations. In 1 year. They have opened 80 churches in 80 nations. That is weight. That is when resources is in place. All the fundraising, the sacrifices they gave in Shiloh last year, they have not touched it yet. What kind of man can feed 50,000 people and gather? That's okay. But first and foremost, you must know the kind of crowd you want to pastor here. And those people, half of them are sleeping because they are not hearing my grammar. When I open here and open here, like Reverend Chris yesterday. Kratos. In Nigeria. No, that is not, that was your own tongues. I know it's gratis. We have that one. East Coast. East Coast is there, Dunamis is there. Inagia is there, yes. No. Megatus. Megatus is the spirit of mega. There is one more. Now, there is one more. You can't forget the first one. Haba. The first one. No. Uba. You can't remember? I won't tell you. If you remember, just do like this. The first one. Yes, sir. Praise the Lord. So, strategy for evangelism is crucial. I have visited 70 markets. 70 markets. As much as I'm aiming the crowd, I'm also aiming men of substance. In Gudu Market here, there are 12 of them that come to this church. The first richest man in Gudu, second richest man, third richest man, they're all members here. And there are others like that who are there. As much I am targeting the great, the small. Don't be always targeting Lilliputians. Target all. Even the great, the rich, and the poor. The reason is because it will assist you to do more of God's work and reach out to more souls. Don't do certain evangelism where you are stuck. So, be evangelism conscious. I'm not saying be money conscious. Be evangelism conscious and also create programs that is also evangelism oriented. Create programs so that members can invite people. Give them invitational instruments that they will be proud of using. Is somebody hearing what I'm saying here? If your handbill is 5 naira, it's 5 naira level kind of people that will come. If your handbill is black and white, they can't see the face of the pastor. Every wording is double. It's not digital. It's not clean. Sir, that is the kind of people you will attract. Make sure the information you are passing through the handbill to newsletter is clear. Let everybody be evangelism crazy. Sir, if you want things to happen, prepare for it. If you want growth, prepare for growth. Vote more than 10% of your income on evangelism, on soul winning, on reaching out to souls. I will come back to round up with 10 minutes again. Because if I continue like this, I will not allow this gift of God in our midst to express himself. Even if I don't talk again, I will do that tomorrow. I will do that tomorrow. Rise on your feet. That's all we can take for now, because we need to take another last section. It's very important. Have you heard something? Say, Lord, thank you for the secret of church growth. I receive insights to move the ministry you put in my hand to the next level. I receive insight to move the ministry from where it is to the next level. Open your mouth and begin to give expression to what you've heard. Open your mouth and give expression to what you heard. Open your mouth and give expression to what you have heard.